Statement number one is created from
Are you judging
a gushing, self-emitting fluid.
If I tell you start
Right.
with French,
Let's pause there before you go on to the next statement.
if I tell you,
What is that fluid?
we can't get to that later.
Wouldn't say Quran is
I'll
sperm.
get to this later.
It says
I'll get to this
min
later.
ma'in dafiq. It doesn't refer to sperm.
You're saying it's min mom is some word, it doesn't refer to sperm. What? Even on the Quran saying it doesn't refer to sperm.
Ma'in dafiq means a gushing, self-emitting fluid which
So
is...
what gushing fluid is coming out of your backbone?
Listen. Listen carefully, my friend, and you will understand and learn, right? You'll have a proper education today, God willing, if you were to learn today. Yeah? Good.
This is not an education for someone who wants to learn.
So, this gushing fluid is something that is called ma'in dafiq. It has in the grammatical construct of the one who is doing it himself. The fluid and the contents is propelled by itself. So the sperm within the fluid, we know, is self-propelling.
That's the most illogical crap I've ever heard. Yes. You're not hearing yourself. You're saying that sperm propels out of the backbone. Do you not know how sperm is made?
What does it say back? Wait. Where does it say backbone?
It says backbone and both bones.
Hang on. The first statement. One second. Excuse me, brother.
It says backbone in the translation.
first-
I don't want to read your
Listen.
It says backbone.
The first statement, I said there's two statements to look into it. The first statement talks about the gushing, self-emitting fluid. The amazing,
You haven't even explained what
I'm
it is.
explaining.
Okay, explain. What's that fluid?
I am explaining.
In scientific words.
I am explaining, right? The reproductive fluid, right? Which is constituted with the secretions of prostate gland, Cooper's glands, seminal vesicles. Is it all science?
Are these in the backbone?
Hey, listen.
Are these glands in the backbone?
The first statement has nothing to do with backbone.
Yes, it says that. It
Listen,
says that in the Quran.
First,
86:7.
You hate your God so
It
much
says
that you want to
it
stop
emits
as
from
well.
the backbone and the rib. So essentially,
first-
Allah claims that women have sperm, that
Soko.
it emits from the ribs.
Soko,
Deal with that.
Soko, listen.
Deal with
All
it.
of the scholars say from the backbone.
Yeah, they all say
Ah,
the
the
Yusuf Ali
ribs.
says the
All right,
backbone.
which
His
scholar-
says
which
the
scholar you
backbone.
want? Which scholar-
Issuing from the loins artery. Shakir says coming from the ribs. Sarwar says
Which comes out of the loins and ribs.
Sorry, and Khalifa
Are you
says
not
from
able to
the
have
Venus
a
one and
conversation?
So
No,
all
these are
your
scholars,
translations,
these are
Stop shaking and listen.
1 minute. All your translators are saying that it comes from the backbone. So how are you going to tell me that sperm comes from the
Listen
backbone?
and understand.
And no, how is that not
There are
irrational?
I
two.
know, how is that not?
I haven't
That's
even
not
gone to my
irrational.
second
Work on
statement.
the rationality of your
You said about rational, yeah.
Try to understand that I made one statement, right? I just read one statement. First statement is to do with the gushing fluid and its characteristics. The second statement says where it comes from, and that's what you are dealing with. But I want to deal with the first statement first.
Is that
Now,
rational, first of all, before you move?
first
Is that
statement,
rational, yes or no, before we move on to your next point and
if
stuff?
you were to listen, you will learn that
No, I'm not learning
not
nothing from you, my
only,
friend. All you're doing is be
not
that.
only the
All you're
first
doing is
statement,
be that innovation. Like this means this means that your
Soko.
scholars disagree with you. It says Yusuf Ali proceeding between the backbone and the ribs, right? Pick four that issued from between the loins and the ribs.
tell me when you
It
finish.
just goes. So my question is, do you think it's rational for God to claim that the sperm comes from the backbone and the ribs?
Okay.
Yes or no? If it's yes, please explain to us why.
Now, I am answering, right? Without, I expect you to listen to my answer, right? I am saying the crucial verses are two verses, right? I gave you verse number 1, and there's a verse number 2 that will come. The verse number 2 that is what you're dealing with. But I need to start with the verse number 1, which is about the very characteristics of the reproductive fluid. It is saying, why do you jump to the second verse, leaving the first one? Hello, Sako, listen.
This is what I call tap dancing, man.
Dancing.
Listen.
Dancing.
Firstly, if you were with
evidence is
any
overwhelming.
comprehension skills,
You don't have none.
you would realize,
You're
you would
going
realize,
on a tangent. Get to the point where you explain why your God thinks that the testy fluid comes out of the backbone, bro.
Okay,
Get to that point.
firstly, allow me to
Rational.
go to
Why
the
is that
second point.
rational?
How does sperm come from the backbone, bro?
Yeah.
According to your Quran. Let's get to that.
Are you going to just keep on repeating the
How
question?
is that
I'm gonna
rational?
give you the answer.
How is
Right.
that rational, please?
Listen, now, so the first point, we know they're sincere. We're going to expose them just here.
Yusuf Ali ain't sincere.
Brother, please.
I don't like, none of them are sincere.
Subhanallah, subhanallah.
I'm just saying.
No, don't say anything. Jazakallahu khairan. Inna Allah ma'as sabirin. Allah is with the patient one. Be patient. Now, okay. So I said, out of these two statements, the first statement says something astonishing scientifically, which is, it talks about within this fluid, this fluid is self-emitting. If it was the normal Arabic construct, hear me out first, it would have said madfuk, but it doesn't say madfuk, it says dafiq. That's why it is something that the scientists are baffled. How did someone 1400 years know that this is self-propelled fluid? Point one. Now I move. Now I go.
I want to hear about the backbone on the rim. I want to hear about how the sperm comes from the backbone on the rim.
How does the sperm come out of the
How is
backbone?
that rational? first of all?
Listen.
How is that
Now
rational?
I
Because that's the
move
main
to
thrust.
the second verse. Second verse says, يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب. Proceeding from, listen, try to understand. Proceeding from in between the collarbone and
That's even worse for you.
Collarbone, it says loins and ribs, loins, breastbones, back and ribs.
Every
Bro,
translation-
all your
every
scholars,
translation
all your
is going
scholars are
against
calling you a liar,
Every
bro.
translation is going against
I thought
your
you had the
scholars are calling you a
decency
liar.
to let people speak and explain
You are
themselves.
not- you are not-
Listen.
Yeah, you are doing big.
I have read more than 40 translations on this. Yes.
Are you ready for it?
Thank you very much. Now listen then. The word tara'ib in Arabic, if you want to know the meaning, where would you go to find the meaning of an Arabic word?
Arabic dictionary.
In an Arabic dictionary.
Yeah.
If you were
And
to
these scholars
consult,
are Arabic speakers. Thank you.
listen,
Thank you.
we'll
Thank
be
you.
very
You
right.
show yourself in the foot. These are Arabic speakers.
listen,
Arabic scholars, Arabic speakers. So you show yourself in the full, Mansur.
Loco, let
Why?
me finish. Loco, let me finish.
Answer the question.
I am.
Okay.
So
How is
now,
that rational?
if you were
For the
to
sperm to come
consult,
from the ribs.
excuse me,
Literal Arabic scholars, by the way.
subhanallah, listen.
Arabic scholars.
Arabic scholars.
Khalifa, Salwan.
If you were to consult the Arabic dictionaries, which are authoritative and acceptable by all, like قاموس المحيط, الصحة, مختار الصحة, كتاب العين, لسان العرب, تاج العروس. Are you listening?
Backbone and ribs. Get
I am-
backbone and ribs.
Hey.
How is
You
that
rejected.
rational?
Listen.
Answer to
What's
me.
going on?
How is that
Listen.
rational for God to
Let me
claim that the
continue
sperm comes from the
and
backbone and the
expose
rib?
you of your
You said
ignorance.
Christianity it doesn't make any rational sense.
If
My
you-
question to you is
I
the
am
following.
explaining
Again,
to you. Just
how
listen.
is rational for God Almighty to claim that the sperm comes from the backbone and the rib? Explain to us. Why is
We don't
rational?
want your tafsirs, bro. We want what the Quran says. The tafsirs are useless. The tafsirs do not work. We want what the Quran says, bro.
So listen now.
Last chance.
You can go away, but I'm speaking to him. يخرج. I am asking you a simple question now. The verb which says proceeding from, what does it refer to? Does it refer to the sperm or the gushing fluid?
That creates.
Or-
The fluid that creates life. Creates life.
I haven't finished.
No. Because
I haven't finished my question.
the fluid you're
I
talking
have not
about,
finished
are
my
you trying
question.
to make a distinction between sperm and say water or all the
I have
fluids
not finished
that
my question.
are
No, it's
put
not
together?
blood, it's
We're talking about
liquid fluid that
sperm.
creates
The
life.
fluid that creates life.
Acting
Allah
like
subhanahu wa ta'ala said that fluid,
Tell me when you finish.
that particular fluid,
Tell me when you
which is
finish.
sperm, comes from the backbone and the rib. We are asking, how does that make rationality? How is that rational? Explain to us. How is that rational?
Did he
One
not
question.
ask, how does the sperm coming from the breast and the backbone rational?
Yes.
So did I understand your question?
Please answer.
No, did I understand your question?
How is that rational for God to claim that the sperm? No,
Have-
I wanna answer you again.
Have-
I'll ask you again, and then I'll give you the floor to explain it. Yes.
Listen.
Sperm comes
How?
from the
How?
backbone.
Yes. How is that rational for God
Have
to claim that
I-
the sperm comes from the backbone on the rib, please? How is that rational?
Yeah, how is it
Loco,
You got your
have I understood your question? Speak. Have I understood your question?
You have to repeat again. You have to repeat again.
No, I want you to answer. Have I understood your question?
Your brothers are watching. You're waiting for the answer, bro.
Yeah, they are.
Not me,
Because
bro.
I want
I
you
don't
to
believe your
listen
plan.
for the answer. So I'm repeating once more. Have I understood your question?
Have you understood my question? I don't think so because I have to repeat about 5 times.
Okay.
So that's it.
You are asking me how is it rational for God to say that the sperm comes from the breast and the backbone?
Back on the rib. Yes, that's my question. How is
Yeah?
that rational, please? Explain to
So
us.
have
please.
I understood your question?
Yeah, explain to us.
Thank
please.
you very much. So
Don't-
now,
don't take too
don't repeat the question again because I've already
If I have to,
understood
I
your
will.
question.
If
No?
I have to, I will.
Don't be a child.
I'm not your Dimi. I
No,
can do whatever I
don't
want.
be a child.
These don't
Now,
Sharia code
now.
now. These don't
So
Sharia code
now,
now.
am I...
But when you ask a question, you let him
brother,
just
brother.
let him talk
So
to
now,
give you the answer.
when it says proceeding from, in between the backbone and the ribs, my question to you is,
Let him finish.
my question to you is,
Yes or no, my
does this refer to the gushing fluid, or does it refer to the human being mentioned a verse earlier?
What is it? I didn't catch it.
So does it refer to the gushing fluid or a
Here, here.
being that's mentioned in a verse earlier?
To help you understand what I'm saying, it's your turn to now
So what
comprehend.
human being comes from the backbone, bro?
Listen,
Yeah. What,
look, it says,
what fluid?
Now
what
let-
fluid that creates life? Because
Listen,
the context of
listen.
that particular verse is the fluid that actually creates life.
I think you're making
Excuse
additions
me.
into your own
I
body.
am
we agree with that?
explaining. I'm
Do we agree
explaining.
with that, first of all?
I'm explaining.
Do we agree with
I am
that? I'm asking
explaining.
you, do we agree with that?
Now, I am
I'm
saying,
asking you, do we agree with that? That the fluid that the Quran is mentioning is the actual fluid that creates life. Do you agree with that, yes or no?
there is two arguments here in the Quran, not one.
Do you agree with
So
that?
this is an
you don't agree
education
with
for
that?
you now.
So you don't agree with
Bro,
that?
where's
In the
education?
Quran,
You haven't even showed us
nothing.
anything. You proved nothing.
So listen
Nothing,
carefully then. Verse number 1 talks about the characteristics of the gushing fluid and what it does. Yes, it creates human beings. Correct. Verse following talks about another argument.
That emanates from.
Now,
Correct?
if you allow me to
No, we have a
explain,
conversation.
no, I'm explaining. You listen, because I've understood your question.
Where does that
Now,
come from?
the second statement, I am saying it refers to the human being, not to the gushing fluid.
That wasn't mentioned at all.
Listen.
that wasn't
no, that's
mentioned
a
at
lie.
all.
He's lying to
That's
you
a
guys.
lie you're just making.
He's lying to you
Doing
guys.
tequila again.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says
Now
it's sperm.
listen.
The actual sperm comes
Once
from the back of the
we
ring.
listen,
Allah said
once
sperm.
we finish this, we are going to return to the question of rationality of your belief over all other religions and
Oh, your
non-religions.
belief has already been proven to be
Listen.
rational.
No. Now hear me out. Now, verses later, it says, إِنَّهُ عَلَى رَجْعِهِ لَقَادِرٌ. God surely is able to bring him back to, excuse me, brothers, to life. Jazakallahu khairan, be patient. One verse, one person, one voice, right? Just let me be your representative. I know what I'm doing. I've debunked those people a long time ago. We can do it again.
You've been destroyed already.
Now here, now here, it says he will bring back again. God is able to bring him back to life, right?
Move to a different verse now.
This,
move to a different
now
verse,
listen, this,
the verse, bro.
these verses
86, 7.
has nouns and pronouns and a verb with a hidden noun. When I said,
You don't know.
So we have. Oh, okay. So it's
Oh.
not clear. So the Quran is not clear.
It's not clear. It's
So
not
the
clear.
Quran is not
Listen.
clear. Oh, okay.
now,
So the Quran is
When-
not clear. Even
when-
though Allah said it's
the
clear.
verb says
Comprehension.
يخرج, do you know what it is?
Sorry? What is it?
It's just something about Wahuju, bro.
What's
Yeah,
Wahuju?
yeah,
You don't
Wahuju.
speak Arabic.
Bro, do I speak Arabic?
don't speak
So I'm going to
Arabic,
give you
bro.
some lesson now for you to understand, because you're dealing with the Arabic Quran, not the translation.
Bro, the translation
Ah,
are all
it's
from
going to-
Arabic
ah,
people.
it's
So
going to
I'm just
Arabic.
throwing them in the bus and
Listen,
saying, oh,
listen.
really, to Wahuju.
So now what we have here,
Stop
يخرج
dancing.
is a
Stop
verb.
dancing. Stop
يخرج
dancing.
is a verb which says proceeding from. But within this verb, it has what we call damir mustatir. It means there is a pronoun already embedded within this verse. Like when I say someone,
Hidden pronoun. You say.
I am going to give you some grammar lessons now, right?
Actually, hidden pronoun.
Free of charge.
So a lot hides things in the Quran.
No,
And he
this
says
is
people like him to
language.
explain the
In
verses.
language.
So
In
Allah says people like him
language.
to explain the verses.
In language, when you say the door is open,
Yeah, he needs to explain the
Prophet,
verses
he's a
to me
prophet,
because
he's a
Allah can't explain it to me.
listen.
When I
okay?
read the book, I can't work it out. You need to explain it to me.
Listen.
No, fair enough, fair
When
enough.
we say the door is opened, within that verb opened,
It's good to-
is there someone opening?
Stick to the verse,
Stick to the
86:7.
verse, bro.
I have to
Verb.
teach you
How does that make
Explain
irrational sense,
linguistics.
Mansur?
Good.
How does
Because
your
of
God
your
say
lack
that the
of-
sperm comes from the Bible and the
Because of
ring?
your
How does
lack
that make
of
rational
language,
sense? Answer
linguistic
that.
skills, and
That's not
comprehension,
It's about your God.
you're
You
having
can't
this
comprehend
problem.
anything probably. 'cause
So
he
now,
needs you to explain it.
I am
He needs
telling
you
you-
to explain his own words. It's kind
Yeah.
of stupid, isn't it?
No, it's for you to listen. I am saying the verb here refers to the man. The man, it is not referring to the gushing fluid. If you were to ask any Christian Arab, they will say, يخرج can, this verb, refer to a noun that is mentioned immediately or even a little bit before that. Go and bring your Christian experts who know Arabic and get some education from them.
Well, they will disagree. Like Christian Prince agrees that the sperm literally comes from the backbone. That's what your God says. And you still haven't explained
Christian
that.
Prince the liar.
If you believe it's a lie, it doesn't matter. He's
No, no, no.
Arabic.
It's Arabic.
I'm not Arabic. He's Arabic.
Do you
speaks
think
Arabic, he speaks
do you
Arabic.
think he's a liar?
Do I think it's no? I wouldn't think he's a liar at all.
Have
He
you
speaks
seen the
Arabic.
101 lies or more lies about his lies on the internet? On
Is
Farid
that a
response.
Muslim? Is that a Muslim YouTube?
Listen,
No,
Farid
no, a minute. Is it a Muslim
response.
YouTuber who said that? Is it a Muslim YouTuber who
And
put that
what
response?
if it was a Muslim YouTube? What does it mean? Muslims are dishonest?
What it means is that YouTuber has a bias to protect his Quran.
And if it was a Christian
he'll do
YouTuber, it's not gonna have bias.
by any means, like make up good information, like your hadith say.
Why don't you go and listen to what this channel has exposed these lies of Christian Prince? Be a man enough to listen to
Bro,
it.
why don't
So
you
now-
watch David Wood? Like, watch David Wood, watch Sam Shamoon. They both exposed Islam 1,000 times, bro.
Oh yes, you wish, you wish. Now, again here.
Okay.
So here,
Okay,
these verses
let me finish it off now.
talk about
Let me finish it off
the
now.
human being, they are emanating, look, the human, during birth. Do you know where the baby comes out from? In between the ribs and the backbone. This is where baby
Doesn't
comes
say
from.
anything about a baby, bro.
Okay.
It talks about let man think where it's coming from. Man. It refers to a
Let
man.
JC respond
Okay.
anyway. 'cause
One
that-
last point, and then I'll let you have the room.
So basically, before I move on to you, as you have realized, grammatically, contextually, I have given you an explanation and some free Arabic lessons to you, demonstrating that the Quran here not only has no scientific errors, not only has any irrational statement in there, but it's actually pretty amazing when it talks about the self-propelling nature of this fluid.
Thank you, Mansur. Now let me come back. Does anybody know who Ibn Abbas is?
Look, this is the Arabic
Do you know who
translation.
Ibn Abbas? Ibn Abbas. Who was Ibn Abbas? For your brothers who doesn't know.
Carry on.
Who was Ibn Abbas? You know
Carry on.
Ibn Abbas was considered one of the greatest scholars. If I'm not mistaken, he's the first cousin of the Prophet Muhammad. The first cousin of Prophet Muhammad, yes? Thank you. This is what he says about Surah 86:7. He says this, that issued from between the loins of a man, the sperm, and ribs of a woman. So Surah 86:7 is referring to that women have sperm that emanates from the ribs.
Yep.
That's his commentary.
Game over.
Game over. Finito.
So now-
You're going against
Listen,
Ibn Abbas,
listen.
the greatest scholar that your Prophet Muhammad
Let me
considered
tell
a
you,
great
let me tell you
scholar.
something.
So, wait. No,
you haven't
I'm
finished?
finished,
Right,
I'm finished.
you're wrong.
So,
You're wrong.
ba-
The
so,
tafsir is
hold on,
right.
wait.
You
So,
can't re-explain tafsir,
so,
bro.
based on
really?
this, okay,
Really?
Mansur,
Yeah, you're
Mansur,
wrong, bro. The
Mansur.
tafsir is right, bro.
I will tell you
Mansur.
how
Your God said it's
absolutely wrong you
sperm in the
are.
backbone, bro.
So here's my question. Based on what I read, that the gushing fluid comes from the ribs of the woman, according to Ibn Abbas, how is that not irrational?
I will tell you something. Ibn Abbas,
Yes.
may
Ibn
Allah be
Abbas.
pleased with him,
I'm
or
listening,
any
I'm
other scholars, they can have opinions
Oh,
themselves.
they can just have an opinion.
Wait, listen carefully. This is not what the Prophet said. This is not what the Quran said. Brother, one second.
Quran says he comes
The
from the Bible.
Quran said, and I have
I have
contextually.
the Arabic. I have the Arabic.
Subhanallah, brothers. Excuse me, brother, please. I have shown you.
How many days?
Linguistically,
40 days. Ah, yeah, the baby says 40 days as well,
are
yeah.
you listening now?
Yeah, go on.
I have shown you. Contextually, linguistically, the Quran does not say what you claim to say. There may be commentators, there may be scholars mentioning this, but this is not what the Quran says. Because people can...
Bro, 1 minute. We've shown you that
finished.
translators
I've not
have,
finished.
literally all your translators agree that it's the backbone. We've
And the
showed you
ribs.
that it's seminal fluid.
All
Now
the
you're
scholars.
going to have to show us where your interpretation comes from.
Yes,
Because it
please.
doesn't come
Yes,
from the Quran
please.
and it doesn't come
We'll
from
show you
Tafsir.
evidence. Show us evidence.
If
Show
you
back
are
evidence.
listening at all,
You've been listening for the past
I
20
have
minutes.
said contextually and linguistically. If you don't know what this means, let me tell you what this means. From the language itself and from the context itself, it refers to a human being, the man that is referred to in the first verse, فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ مِمَّا خُلِقَ. It talks about man, which I have just shown you here. Yep. So what does it
He's
come
made.
from?
Man is made.
Let me
Yeah,
finish.
don't forget about that.
So
Man is made.
what is the man created from?
Gushing
I
fluid.
said two statements. Man is created from a gushing fluid, statement number one. Statement number two, man emerges from between the backbone and the ribs.
Doesn't say that.
Doesn't say that.
Doesn't say that. It
does
says
not say
the
that.
seminal
Okay.
fluid comes from the backbone.
It means from the
Read the
backbone of
Arabic for
ribs.
me. Read the Arabic for me.
Don't hide behind
Oh,
the Arabic.
hiding behind
We
Arabic.
got the translation.
What do
We
you mean
give it
hiding behind the
Abbas.
Arabic?
Even
It's the Quran that is Arabic.
Ibn Abbas
Yusuf
says.
Ali, he's
No.
Arabic, he's Muslim, and he
now,
agrees with what I'm
Ibn
saying.
Abbas
He
is the
disagrees
first
with
cousin
you.
of the
So
Prophet
that
Muhammad.
means that you hate your God, you hate their books, so you might as well not be a Muslim.
Listen,
Might as well use-
there are many people.
Come up with a different tafsir.
There are many people within the Christian tradition, Muslim tradition, Jewish tradition. They have said things which you would say it is only a reflection of the knowledge of their time. Now, let me ask you: do you believe Christianity is rational?
Mate, you're going to have to answer them.
I have answered already.
No, you haven't answered
I
Is it
don't.
rational for your God to say that seminal fluid comes from the backbone?
I explained to you,
Mansur, you haven't
and
answered
you
it.
have a block in your ears understanding.
Bro, you haven't answered the question.
Look,
Nothing.
if you have a
You have
comprehension
answered the
problem,
question.
We've
it
shown you
is not
tafsir,
my
the
we've
original
problem.
shown you the
question was-
translators, and you still
Now,
have not come up
listen.
with a good argument for why seminal fluid comes out of the
So
backbone.
if I
according to
give
your
you
God.
a translation which agrees with me, you'll accept it, right?
One of the greatest scholars. So he's going
Hang
against the
on.
greatest
He's
scholar.
going against every
Wow.
scholar.
If
He's
I-
going against every scholar for one scholar that agrees
If,
with him.
if
Go ahead.
I,
Greatest scholar, brother, he's
I'm not talking to you. I'm
Don't
talking to you.
this side.
Listen, if I'm going to give you a translation
Human stage.
which agrees with me, would you accept it?
It says here.
If I give you a translation
Right.
on these verses and it agrees
What do you
with
think
me,
of it?
would you accept it?
All the other translations disagree with you.
Now, I'm asking you the question now.
I'm saying if the majority disagree with you,
It's
then
not about majority, it's about the Arabic.
majority that
So
disagree.
I have given you the Arabic.
Ask one simple question. What's the topic of the debate?
Okay, wait. All right, let me read it. Let me read it.
So, I don't want to talk to him. I want to talk to him.
No, don't run.
So now-
Don't run.
As I've explained now, be sincere and reflect on it later. Is Christianity rational?
What were we reading about?
So,
Is Christianity
Semen
rational?
stage. Okay.
Oh, Seaman stage, the last 40 days.
The semen stage. Okay, 40 days.
Hyde B. Usaid reported directly from Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, that Lai said when the drop of semen remains in the womb for 40 or 50 days or 40 nights, the angel comes and says, "My Lord, will he be good or evil?" And both. These things would be written down. Then the angel says, "My Lord, would he be a male or a female?" And both these things are written, and his deeds and actions and his death, his livelihood, these are also recorded. Then his document of destiny is rolled, and there is no addition to and subtraction from it. Muslim 33, 6,
It's
3,
not only
Right.
Allah.
So let me ask you
even
now.
Muhammad
Is Christianity rational?
One-to-one biology.
Is Christianity rational?
Muhammad also.
Why
So
not?
Muhammad
This
and
is not
so
Muhammad.
Muhammad and your God,
Okay,
they're
are you-
at basic biology.
Allah's
This is supposed to be a
messenger
God and his prophet.
I thought,
Both of them are failed.
I thought you're able to maintain a conversation. I'm asking you now, is Christianity rational?
I'm asking you, like, from these statements.
I have
you've
already
already
explained the Quran.
You've proven
So
that
now-
Islam is not rational.
Quran that you
Because
explained.
God being the creator of all things, cannot honestly come down here and say, oh, sending fluid comes from the backbone, by the way. It doesn't work like that.
So basically, you are selective in hearing, right?
No, you are selective in
Maybe
hearing.
no, your translators are selective here. I mean, everybody else, the Quran is selective here as well, according to you.
Allah
So
failed to communicate.
let me
This
ask
is
you.
in the Quran.
Let me ask you again.
Allah's failed to
Let me
communicate.
ask you again. If I bring a translation that agrees with me, would you accept it?
No, because all the translators
So
disagree
now,
with you.
so now you're
Bro,
saying.
all the translators who are Arabic, who are Muslim, disagree with you. So you bring in a translation.
And
Listen,
Muhammad
listen.
disagrees
And Muhammad
with him.
disagrees with you as well.
Listen carefully.
He's shamed
So
of
now you have just demonstrated that not only you are insincere, because I said,
I don't know where you got that from. You're insincere. You haven't shown me any proof
You
that
said-
that your God is rational.
you said you would not accept the translation that I bring.
I'm waiting for proof.
Where is the sincerity?